And we're underway. So welcome to April's webinar for Griffiths de Kock Racing. As mentioned, we have Tony Williams here, affectionately known as Tubba. Welcome, Tubba.
Thank you very much for inviting me on, and nice to be here with you.
And we have our regulars, Robbie Griffith and Matt de Kock. And Robbie, we might start with you, but the English sales, the English Easter sale, we haven't done a wrap since then. We picked up a Frankel, a Tappet, a Redute's Choice, and the Russian Revolution. Not bad shopping.
Yeah, we shopped really well, didn't we? We were very fortunate to get some international flavors and a very fast Russian Revolution. So we're very, very happy with what we've purchased. And tonight we'll talk about the Russian Revolution in particular. So very good. And
Matt, obviously, the Russian Revolutions are something that we've been trying to get as many as we can in the stable. And yeah, you're a big fan of them. So I guess Tony's a great person to have on for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic webinar, I think, this evening. And as you saw on the weekend, anything that has the China Horse Club Newgate brand on it is just flying at the moment. So definitely the team to be with.
Yeah, we thought we are. So I'll introduce yourself there, Tony, but just as Matt touched on, I guess we thought, you know, if we can't beat you, then we may as well try and join you guys, because Daily Bugle's running really well for us, but Cap Devant on the weekend was pretty impressive, wasn't he? Well, I've lost you again. You're just on mute.
The mute button's there.
Yep.
Unbelievably impressive, and we couldn't have wished for a better finale to the Sydney Autumn Carnival to have a capitalist the capitalist win the Champagne Stakes, and just an exciting future for that stallion and for us at Newgate. And with our young stallions coming through, it's quite an exceptional time.
And I guess for those that within the industry, and I'll read this headline from the recent Blue Bloods, there's no better example in Australia of somebody climbing the international thoroughbred ladder than Tony Williams. So I guess if you could give us a rundown, Tony, on a whole lifetime of being involved in racing.
Well, I'm 60 now, and I've blinked and it's gone by to 60 very quickly. But look, I was very fortunate. Grew up in a country town in Victoria, in the Castlemaine area, in a place called Campbell's Creek. And at the age of 14, left home and moved to Flemington to be apprenticed to Pat Burke. Pat Burke's son, Philip, was the foreman, and probably really more apprentice to Philip at the time. John Sadler was working in the stables at the time. So, you know, wonderful time there at Flemington in my early time. Rode a lot of work, always a bit too heavy to be much of a jockey, but had a handful of rides and rode a few winners, but certainly a great learning experience. And by chance one day we went up to what was then Wright Stevenson's in Ascot Vale Road for a chat with the boys one morning after riding work, and walked out with a job in the bloodstock department and started the following Monday. So that sort of set my career path, if I can put it that way, in the bloodstock world, which was very fortunate. And as I say, from then I went to England back in 1981 and worked at Newmarket, worked in a national hunt stable there. Came back and continued my job with what was then Dalgety Bloodstock, and did a bit of auctioneered for about 15 years. Had my own bloodstock company along with a partner, Ian Remington, in what was called Victorian Bloodstock Sales. And that was actually a great learning curve. We learned a lot at that time, and you know, that's held me in good stead going through. You know, going forward, all of these different aspects of the industry that I worked in certainly set me up for what I would say was a very fortunate, what's been a very fortunate life in the bloodstock and racing world. I've had my own farms. We've, you know, been fortunate to breed a couple of Group 1 winners as well, Peggy Jean and Sprite, amongst others. And just a general cross-section of the whole industry. Back in 2000 and 12, I'd been with Magic Millions for 9 years. I was working with them at the time. This is probably a little bit all over the place, but I was working with Magic Millions then, and Henry Field at Newgate Farm at the time came to me and Tubber, my man, because they all call me Tubber. Tubber, my man, we'd better have a chat. I think we better get together and work, come to Newgate. So I went to Newgate in 2012, early 2012, when Henry was just starting. Foxwedge was our first stallion the following season, and we were with him for 2 years. Then we added 3 more stallions to the roster, which was the Factor, Sizzling, and Eurozone. Then the following year we added 3 more, which was Deep Field, Wandjina, and Dissident. Now, of those first 7 stallions, there's only one still at Newgate, and that is Deep Field, and he's gone from strength to strength and doing a great job. But it just goes to show you how difficult it is in the business to get good stallions and make them work. Capitalist was bought about 2016, I think it was, and or 15, and that was with James Harron and Henry. They bought Capitalist, who will go further down the track. He's now the highlight stallion here at Newgate. But in 2016, I was very fortunate to be offered a position, which did come out of the blue, in England as managing director of Goffs UK. So Mark Player actually approached me on behalf of Goffs UK. He's the Goffs agent here in Australia. And Mark asked, would I be interested? And of course, I said I would be, not really thinking, throw the hat in the ring and see where it lands. But within a space of a few months, I was in the UK and spent over 3 wonderful years in the UK, and was really one of the most exciting adventures I could have undertaken at that age and stage of my life. To go over there at 55, it was, and I've got a lot of wonderful friends there, and it was a great experience. The company really did well. It was good times there, and I was very fortunate to be involved and travel all around Ireland and the UK, and of course France as well. In the job, it was really, really, something to behold. I did things that you used to read about and you'd watch on televisions. Going to 3 Grand Nationals, I went to 3 Arc de Triomphes, the Derbies. Just a wonderful experience. Met some wonderful people over there, and really sort of broadened the horizons. So I must say, I couldn't recommend highly enough for anybody in the industry. Anything is possible, and that's the Newgate catchcry. It's possible, but I will say it's possible. I feel it's wonderful to have started at Flemington at 14 and to have gone right through and worked in every aspect of the industry, and to be fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to go and work in other parts of the world, and to come back here to Australia and then end up back at Newgate with Henry, and the team here at Newgate has been unbelievable, to say the least. Newgate, in the time I was away from Newgate for nearly 5 years, and the leaps and bounds that Newgate, the company, has taken with the stallions, with the whole professionalism of the organisation and the processes. I can't tell you how it's developed and how it's grown, and all testament to Henry and his partners in Matthew Sandblom and Gavin Murphy and SF Bloodstock. I mean, they're a dynamic crew, and they've put together a wonderful group of people here. And Bruce Slade, who most of you would have heard of here at Newgate, he's a wonderful man, and extremely good at what he does. Probably one of the most decent people I've ever worked with, one of the most ethical and hardworking lads. And the team here at Newgate all subscribe to those principles, and it's wonderful to be back here and to be working with such a team. And then when you look at what stallions are here now and what the progression has even taken in the last few years, we have Extreme Choice Side, the Golden Slipper winner this year. We have Flying Artie Side, the Blue Diamond winner. We have Capitalist, who he's taken all before him. He's leading 2-year-old sire at the moment, leading first season sire. And, you know, the way it's looking, he'll march on towards the end of the season in that position. And it's just wonderful for Newgate to have been involved in the purchase of Capitalist as a yearling, to race him through and win the Golden Slipper, and then have him stand at stud and to be doing the job he is. It's quite special. And, you know, I couldn't be more pleased to be involved and back here when things are going as well as they are. Earlier in the year, you would have seen that, and people would have heard, we bought into Profiteer. He started favourite in the Slipper, and he'll come back for a 3-year-old campaign. We also were fortunate enough to be able to partner in Stay Inside, and Stay Inside by Extreme Choice. He went on to win the Slipper this year. So Newgate's been involved in 2 Slipper winners in the last 5 years, and over an 11-year period of Newgate being at the forefront of breeding in Australia. Henry only started this company 11 years ago, and for 2 Golden Slipper winners and to have the stallion roster that we have and the prospects coming through is quite an exceptional feat. And then for Capitalist himself to get the Champagne Stakes winner last Saturday, at Randwick, that in itself was icing on the cake. So I don't know that this has ever happened anywhere in the world. It may well have, but I don't know of an instance where any farm has 3 first season sires, all sire Group 1 winners in their first crop. It's just quite an achievement. And we have all these horses to go forward. As I said, Profiteer, Stay Inside, Artorius, we were able to buy into him after his Blue Diamond win. And of course, Captivant, who won the Champagne. And we won the Arrowfield with Wild Ruler the week before. And so, look, we're very fortunate to have all these wonderful horses coming through. And another horse that you mentioned earlier that we're fortunate to have on the roster here is, of course, Russian Revolution. And he was another one of the colts that was bought in what Newgate do, and put a colt partnership together every year with the hope and with the prospects of making some of those into stallions, which we've been very fortunate enough to do. And you know, Russian Revolution was one of those colts that was purchased. There's a good group of people that, and it's a changing group year on year, but with a lot of the same investors buy into the partnership. And you know, Capitalist was in the early days, Russian Revolution, Cosmic Force, who's standing here, and of course those other horses I've mentioned to you that have come through this year as 2-year-olds, which will be in the backdrops to go to stud in the future. But Russian Revolution, he was a real speed machine. He, of course, won the Galaxy, a Group 1 race, obviously at Randwick, and he won the Oakley Plate, as did his sire, Schnitzel. So Russian Revolution, he's some racehorse, some speed horse, and Peter Snowden, he's been said to say he's one of the quickest horses, if not the quickest horse he's actually ever trained. So that's certainly some rap on Russian Revolution. His first yearlings sold this year and have sold exceptionally well. And of course, as you said earlier, you've got 3 nice yearlings that you've purchased by Russian Revolution, and we've got high hopes for him. I will say, when you look at the group of mares that he covered in his first crop and his second crop and so on, because he's got a good number and a good group of mares in each season he's been at stud, and that won't change this year. We're going very well with bookings to him also. He covered arguably a superior book of mares to even Capitalist in his first season, which takes some doing, because Capitalist got a lovely book of mares. But we feel Russian Revolution, he got the right mares, the right breeders supported him, and now, without doubt, the right trainers are supporting him and buying them in the sales ring.
So, Tony, I'll just mention there, Cracking Destiny at the bottom. If you just want to touch on that. So, if you look closely there, guys, at 58 years old, speaking of National Hunt and your passion for that, there's you going over the jump, and not just going over them, winning by 15 lengths in Ireland at 58 years old.
Wow, look, that was a point-to-point, those photos there, which I didn't win that one, but I did win a what they call a charity race at Aintree, which was on the flat, but that was by probably more than 15 lengths. That horse there that you're seeing the photos of, he was called Fly de Charmy. Unfortunately, he had an issue, which we only gave him a couple of point-to-point runs, but by God, he was some jumper. And I will say, I wasn't sure how I'd go. And to be accepted in the National Hunt world in the UK, coming from Australia, you know, most people I will say a lot of the hardy old fellas, what would this Australian know? But once I'd got myself fit and rode in a point-to-point, I was one of the boys, which was wonderful. And I enjoyed every minute of it, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I will say a huge thrill. And so, yeah, I can't tell you how I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to get fit enough, because I would have ridden a horse 5 times in the 25 years prior to that. I just got myself fit, started riding out, and was able to do that. Might have been silly, I don't know, but it was great fun. And my second horse that I got, Cracking Destiny, which I did ride at Aintree, he's still racing over there at the moment. So he's had a couple of runs this time in. So hopefully in about 3 weeks he will. He won't be far away. But awesome how they still do the point-to-points, and the National Hunt is another world over there. And you know, like racing everywhere in the world, there's some wonderful people involved, and it's just good fun.
And Robbie, I might come to you for this, but we're just about to go to we've talked about the roster, so we might click quickly past that to the main man that we're here to talk about today. But when you look at what Newgate's doing, bet on their next first season sire, wouldn't you? And that's why you've backed him pretty heavily.
Well, reiterating on what Tubba said there, speed on speed has worked for at least just in the last 27 years since the Danehill influence has turned up. You know, he produced 4 slipper winners in a row, and his slipper winners have produced more and more slipper winners, and Blue Diamond winners. You know, Reduce's Choice won a Blue Diamond, and his sons and so on. And as Tubba said, then when you got speed on speed, Russian Revolution was extremely fast. He's won a Oakley Plate like Schnitzel. Schnitzel's been an absolute sire sensation. Russian Revolution beat Red Zell. Peter Snowden doesn't say make big statements. He says he's the fastest horse he's ever trained. When you get that sort of speed on speed, these stallions have proven beyond doubt year in, year out that they are the stallions that succeed. Why reinvent the wheel? The wheel works. And that's why Matt and I have gone out and bought 3 of them, because this is the formula that works year in, year out in Australian standards. And we've seen that. We've just seen Tubba talk about how they've won the Oakley, they've won the Blue Diamond, the Golden Slipper, and they've done what no other stud farm has done, you know, what we've seen. So we want to join the winning formula. So we've gone and bought 3 of them. And so you'll see us there next year winning these races.
Yeah, and Matt, obviously the three we bought were quite different, but you loved them. I know that you absolutely loved when he came out of the box, the colt that we got at the Sydney sale, but also the other 2, the Lady Milsham colt from the Newgate draft, and also the Magnagem filly.
Yeah, Corey, there's so much to like about them. Like Robbie said, speed on speed. They just look like they're going to be really early 2-year-olds, especially our latest buy in Sydney. he probably will be one of our first runners. He just really looks like such a forward horse. I mean, I was just going through Russian Revolution's replays today. His win in the Oakley Plate was so brave. He was wide the whole way and just kept fighting to the line. So if he just can pass that trait on to his young horses to be brave and strong like he was, he's going to have an exciting future.
And I guess we'll go back to Tony here. So Tony, obviously the averages are quite impressive, and the boys have bought these 3 Russian Revolutions at quite good prices based on how good they look. Would you agree with that?
Oh, look, there's no doubting. To be fair, the horses the boys have bought lovely horses. The Russian Revolution we had at a Lady Melksham, she was trained in Victoria and raced by Ian Bell in Victoria. A stakes winner, good stakes winner, really good solid pedigree. And these are the sort of horses that run, you know, as Robbie said, speed on speed. Lady Melksham, she won at Moonee Valley over 955 metres, won up to 1,200 metres. So, you know, you've got the speed on speed, and you can see that photograph of Russian Revolution. He's some physical. And, you know, if he puts into his progeny what the speed he had himself and can complement the mares that have gone to him, you know, I can see these horses really, really being there early in the season and, you know, really performing as we think they will. The formula, as Robbie alluded to a minute ago, with the, you know, the proper Group 1 winning horses and, you know, the horses that have shown form at 2, but the proper Group 1 winning horses that we've got, they've and look, there's always exceptions, but they're proving that they're getting the early runners, and we can see Russian Revolution taking that step. And the horses Robbie's bought, like the Russian Revolution out of Magnus mare, out of Magna Gem. Magnus is proving to be a very good broodmare sire. And if you have a look, Artie Schiller's a very good sire, the sire of Lady Melksham. These crosses speed on speed, and you know, they're the types that you fellas want to train and that you need your clients in, you know.
Yeah, and Robbie, with the Magna Gem, I thought you might want to mention that you've actually bought 2 out of Magna Gem, and you also trained the mum.
Well, yeah, and just getting back to what Tubber said then, I mean, you know, Flying Artie has just produced the Diamond winner, and he's the Artie Schiller line. So when you mix the Artie Schiller line, once again, you know, they're the 2 lines that are working in the 2-year-olds, you know. So we've done that with Lady Melksham, with the Russian Revolution, and she produced the horse that ran 4th in that $2 million Millennium, you know. So once again, Magna Gem, by Magnus, he won a Galaxy as well. So like Russian Revolution winning a Galaxy, Magnus won a Galaxy, and he represented Australia in the UK in the King Stand and these sort of races. So that's why he's an evergreen stand, and he's also a great broodmare stand, because once again you're replicating the speed that Australian standards need and successful. So following the success line that works, and the mother was a very, very good mare, so we trained her and we're backing her progeny. And this filly, just Matt and I loved her up at the farm at Blue Gum. She just stepped out of the box and she nearly got booked for speeding straight away. She was just banging straight out of the box, you know. So she's already got that fast twitch muscles that you want to see in a speed horse. So we think she's just going to be everything like the genetics is showing us, you know.
And just interesting fact here, Robbie, the Lady Melksham, the first foal of Lady Melksham was actually bought by Haywood Bloodstock for South African clients who also were Haywood Bloodstock, which is Steph and Joey, actually did the bloodstock work when they were looking at the farm and then also at the sales. And they also, when they saw her in the draft, saw him in the draft, didn't realise that it was actually a relation until they checked the pedigree page later. So interestingly, that they fall in love with the progeny of one mare. So Tubber, I guess if you could maybe expand a little bit on what was that foal like when he first came out?
Out of Lady Melksham, well, to be quite frank, as you know, I've only been back here for 6 months, so I didn't see him when he first appeared on this earth. But certainly through his preparation, he just kept, improving and improving. And when he got to the sale, the boys obviously liked him. He was a very popular yearling at the sale, but he's just kept progressing and going forward, which is a nice trait for any young horse to have. I've got to say the Newgate regime of rearing horses, producing a lot of winners off the farm, a lot of very good horses off the farm, and the mantra is to keep them progressing and going forward, not to get them too heavy, just keep them progressing through and going forward, and obviously to get to the sales in the best condition, but to have horses that when a trainer gets them, they can go forward. And that's exactly what this horse will do, in my opinion. He will keep progressing now that I would imagine he's being broken in now, and it would go forward, and that he will keep improving right up until he gets to the races. And, the formula's working very well here at Newgate in respect to breeding winners and rearing winners, and that's so important. So couldn't be happy with how that horse came through his preparation, and then how he handled himself at the sales.
Yeah, and they do have good temperaments, the Russian Revolution. So, Tubba, how does the $500,000 bonus work, just for any of our clients that might not understand that?
Okay, this is how it will work. If a horse is bought at Magic Millions, if a Russian Revolution that's purchased at Magic Millions and wins the Magic Millions is eligible for, and this may sound a little bit, there's 500,000 bonus there for Russian Revolutions to win the Magic Millions and the Millennium. If a Russian Revolution wins the Magic Millions and another Russian Revolution wins the Millennium, there will be a $250,000 bonus on each race. If a Russian Revolution wins one of those races, either the Magic Millions or the Millennium, and not the other, there will be a $500,000 bonus. So there's basically $500,000 bonus, which will be paid by the Russian Revolution Syndicate to the winner of either race, 250, the winner of both, if you know what I mean.
Yep, fantastic. Hopefully we win both of those then, Matt.
That would be nice. We need the money for it.
It'll be 250 each to your lucky group of owners that go in these horses. If I can just compliment you, boys, I don't know how well you two knew, like as in Matt and Robbie knew one another before they actually struck up the partnership, but geez, it seems to be working very well. It just seems to be working really well, and you seem to complement one another well. So well done on that, and I'm sure these Russian Revolutions will benefit by that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tubba. Thank you.
So we might just move to the next one. Robbie, we're definitely going to have to name that Russian Revolution colt out of Lady Melksham as well, because the lady always throws me when I'm calling him or her instead of the other way around. But here they are. Here are the three that we purchased. Here's some photos. So there's the colt at the top that we purchased at the Inglis Classic, the Russian Revolution Magna Gem filly that we purchased at the Inglis Premier, and the Russian Revolution Highland Daughter colt that we actually purchased that at the Inglis Easter. So I've got that wrong there down the bottom. But you can see the farms there. So Lady Melksham came from the Newgate draft, Blue Gum draft for the Magna Gem, and the Glen Logan draft, who have stayed in. So they've stayed in for half of that. Is that correct, Robbie?
Yep.
So we have
Glen Logan has stayed in half. So they really love that colt, and he's three-quarter brother in Hong Kong. Has already won 800,000. So he, as Matt alluded to earlier, he just looks like an instant racehorse. Add water and stir. He looks like he'll just run straight away. He's a very, very sharp horse,
Yeah, and just from a sales perspective, what I can say is we have 50% available in the Lady Melksham. We have 30% available in the Magna Gem, with some really good loyal owners in that. So it'd be fun to be with. We have 40%, 45% left in the Highland Daughter. So plenty left there for in all three. And I guess this is a question for yourself, Tony. And I think about Flying Artie in this respect, is because Russian Revolution throwing so many different types, the question that I've had from some people are, we're not sure what will happen, but I guess you've already shown what success you've had with Newgate Stallion. But would you say that similar to Flying Artie, it's just a matter of time until the Russian Revolutions actually hit the track to show their worth? What's the...
Look, we're obviously different stallions throw different types, and some throw to the mares, and there's what I would say with the Russian Revolutions, they all seem to be athletic, which is a real positive. Some stallions do throw a consistent type. That doesn't mean they're all good stallions. And as you can see, the 3 photographs you've got there, you can see from the photographs they're 3 different horses. The Lady Melksham is one that will keep going forward, probably a bit scopier. But we think that Russian Revolution, he's got all the attributes to make a stallion. None of us know which stallions are going to make it until they actually hit the track. But I would say over the next month or 2, we'll start to get a bit of an idea from the people breaking them in and the people that are handling them, like yourselves. And you'll get the feel for whether they'll come early, whether they'll, take a little bit more educating, a little bit more time. But we're pretty hopeful that these horses, will be forward. And there'll always be the exceptions that take a bit more time. But I would think across the board, they'll be a little more forward. And you can see most of them have got a very good hind quarter. They've got good forearm and gaskin. And, they've got the attributes that the Australian 2-year-olds and sprinters require. So, we're pretty confident with him, or as confident as you can be. And I think you've bought 3 really nice horses. There's one important thing that you've done, though. Glen Logan, for example, breed winners. They're involved in Russian Revolution. They, they're partners here at Newgate in different horses, but they themselves have been long-time breeders and long-time, shall I say, they really research everything they do. And, the dam of this is an imported mare. She herself was stakes place, and she's produced a group winner by Exceed and Excel. So the Dane Hill line over that mare has worked, which Russian Revolution is. He's a grandson of Dane Hill. And, Glen Logan breed winners, they really research everything down to the nth degree. And they don't go into horses or stay in horses with everyone. So you should take that as a feather in your cap that they've stayed in this colt with you. So, they're very, very good at what they do. And Blue Gum Farm is, renowned as being one of the best farms in Victoria, and has been for, 35 years or a bit longer. Philip Campbell up there at Blue Gum, they breed winners, and they do a great job rearing their horses and presenting them. So you've bought horses off farms that can breed winners, that do the right job, and these horses can all go forward and have been given the best start in life and the best opportunity, and everything's there. Now it's up to the individual horse. And I think, by the way, that you bought the Lady Melksham too cheap if you're thinking of feeling sorry for us and sending us a bit more.
All right, we'll move on to flight. We've got a Flying Artie as well, Tony. So we picked up, Robbie, you might just touch on this, and then we'll pass straight over to Tony once you've mentioned where you got it, Robbie.
Yeah, well, Matt and I, during the COVID lockdown, we used our government permits to help us out, and we strode around some of the paddocks in Victoria, and we found this guy at Spendthrift, and we loved the Newgate Stallions, and we thought that typical of what Tubba was talking about before, the stallions that succeed are young stallions that come out of Blue Diamonds and Golden Slippers. These are the stallions that make stallions. So reiterating what we're talking about, so Flying Artie, we thought he probably should have won the Blue Diamond, and him and Extreme Choice were were great young stallions, and now we've seen them produce a Slipper winner and a Blue Diamond winner. So we thought this colt was perfect, so we bought him, and we hit the jackpot because Flying Artie's then produced the Blue Diamond winner in Artorias, and this guy actually looks just like him. and he's out of a family that the same bloodlines work, because there's a very good horse in the family, Artie Schiller horse. It's so the bloodlines already work, and he's from the family of Ad Valorem, so it's a very good international family. He's got all the Super Vobis bonuses attached, and he's priced very affordably because we got him all secured. And then Matt and I were jumping for joy when Artorias shoots down the centre of the track to win the Blue Diamond. So we feel very chuffed that we read the play and got in early. And here he is on our website now. He looks a lot like Dad. He looks a lot like Artorias. And we're very happy to offer him to our owners at probably 1/3 or half of the price that he would have made had he have gone through the sales system. His full brother sold for, I think, 170 or 180 or something like that at the Magic Million sales the year before, and he's a beautiful horse. There you go.
And Matt, you absolutely loved him as well. You loved going out to the paddocks. I think that was the only time you could get out and about when you were first in Australia. So,
yeah, and the beautiful thing about being in the paddock with a bunch of yearlings is the nice ones really stand out because they're standing next to each other, and you can actually compare apples with apples. You know, when you at the sales arena, you're looking at one at a time, but in a paddock, you're looking at 7, 8 at a time. And this horse really stood out. And the beautiful thing is you don't know what they buy when you're standing in the paddock and you ask, the guys at the farm, what's that buy? And they say, oh, Flying Artie, and then it really gets you. You have an unbiased opinion when you're looking at all the horses in the paddock, and that's how we picked this horse.
and I'll pass on to Tony again now. So I've just so Tony, have you got much knowledge of this boy, or was he before your time at Newgate?
Yeah, he was a little. But what I would say about Flying Artie, he was racing around before I went to Europe. Placed in a slipper, placed in a Blue Diamond, won the Coolmore. He was a hardy horse. He's out of a Rubiton mare, which, all those in Victoria would remember Rubiton and the Century line. Flying Artie's a little more like that to physically look at, free of Danehill. We all would have thought that his progeny would be more late 2-year-olds and maybe earlier 3-year-olds. Having said that, he's done such a wonderful job. And as Robbie said, he won the Blue Diamond with Artorias. We've got high hopes for Artorias in the spring. And I know that Anthony Friedman, who trains him, he'd be on a Caulfield Guineas path. And, I think he's some racehorse. There's another one, The Art of Flying by Flying Artie, who ran a nice stakes placing. Princess Bojack won at Canterbury. He's got horses coming through that are showing plenty. A lot of trainers that have them are all positive on the Flying Arties. And I know there's one headed for the Queensland Carnival that the trainer and the owner believe they can win the JJ Atkins with him. Let's keep the fingers crossed that he can do that. But, it's really looking positive for Flying Artie. And he's probably one that's flying under the radar a little bit, in respect that he probably wasn't as hot as Capitalist at the sale. He wasn't as hot as Extreme Choice at the sales. But, they sold well. And I think he's the horse that this time next year will be, where I can see Capitalist getting more of the sprinters. And even though he had the mile winner at the Champagne Stakes last weekend, I can see this horse getting, Caulfield Guineas type horses, and those horses will run a strong 1,600 metres. So really happy with them, and the job he's doing is fantastic.
Yeah, I think in any other year he could be leading first season sire. I guess you guys have just got so many good ones up there, so they're competing against each other.
Well, look, to a certain degree they are, but they're slightly different. Capitalist and Extreme Choice, they were the real sprinting 2-year-olds. But when you look at Flying Artie, like he won the Coolmore at 3. He really well performed at 2 and very unlucky in a few of those big races at 2. So they're slightly different. Each of them is different in their own way. But where we're and people here will, and this is pushing our own barrow a little bit, but Newgate have 3 of the top 4 first season sires, and we've got the 2 leading 2-year-old sires in the country at the moment in Capitalist and Extreme Choice, with Flying Artie in 4th position, who was not really expected to be there at this stage. So he's really performing well, and we can see these horses being the longer term older sprinter milers, you know.
Yeah, and I've just
which will be
launched.
indicative of his sire.
I've just launched a poll there for our participants, so you can vote there. And also, we'd love some questions to come in from the audience. So if you'd like to throw some questions Tubber's way, then feel free now. We'll move on to the next bit here. So this one is not for Tubber, Robbie, but I just thought with Don't Tell the Boss having such a good run last week, it's probably worth you just touching on the fact that the half sister is actually for sale at the moment of Don't Tell the Boss, and she actually looks quite like Don't Tell the Boss.
Yeah, well, I bred her, and in that photo on the left there, she looks a bit like me, a little bit overweight, but she's quite a beautiful filly. Matt and I have been quite impressed with the Cable Bay progeny. That sire lines work really well in Australia, but they've just taken a little while to mature. They seem to be growing a lot, so we haven't pushed the progeny. We've put them out in the paddock. But she's a half to Don't Tell the Boss, as you mentioned, and she's quite a good mare. She's been a little bit unlucky with her style of racing, but she has chased some pretty good horses with Loving Gabby and horses like that she's ran so close to running placings, you know, 3rd behind Group 1 horses like her. So you would imagine that once she's got a really nice page being a half to her, and we trained her grandmother, Cancanel, who was Group 1 placed in the Australasian Oaks, and actually the mare that beat her, or the filly that beat her at the time, was Animado, who's the mother of Animo. So there's some really good quality around her genetics, and we think that once she grows out and develops, she's got everything there in a place to be a very good horse, you know. So there she is. She's very affordable. She's a lot like the Cable Bay, as you can see above, and she's very much like the genetics that have been working for many years.
Yeah, and we've got most of her is actually available because obviously she went through the sale, but was passed in, Robbie, and then you decided to keep her at market value. So I guess that's one we haven't probably promoted that much. So I thought it was worthwhile at least putting on here. And obviously last week with Don't Tell the Boss running like an absolute boss, boss by name, boss by nature. I thought it was worth mentioning. So finally, recent runners. So Matt, I might go to you with that one. So recent runners or any highlights. Obviously I mentioned Don't Tell the Boss, but we had 3 winners last week as well, and some really good placings as well. So you might touch on that.
Yeah, Corey, I think we had a good week, especially Halvorsen on Sunday. I thought he ran an excellent race. It was really fantastic to see him full of energy again, and look forward to his next run. And then Yosemite was great. She's a nice filly that we've always had a high opinion of, and she's starting to rack up a bit of good form. And then, like you said, Don't Tell the Boss was awesome. Daily Bugle acquitted himself very well behind the big guns in Sydney. He ran basically to form, and he's just got to improve a little bit as a 3-year-old, and he'll be right up there with the big boys. So I think we've had a good couple of days, and I'm looking forward to this week's racing as well.
Yeah, what do we have this week that you would look out for if you were one of our participants, especially if they're looking to have a punt? You know, I might put you on the spot here.
Yeah, well, I think probably our best runner this week will be Token Spirit on Thursday at Pakenham. He missed out on a race on the weekend. He was an emergency acceptor, and unfortunately there weren't enough horses that came out of the race. So he runs Thursday at Pakenham, and I'll probably say he's our best runner. We got a truckload going to Sale tomorrow.
He's also a
with a
Wangina,
few chances. Yeah, he's a Wangina,
so
as you guys know, and that's it. So we'll be promoting Newgate if he wins. Yeah, Token Spirit's probably our best runner for the week.
And finally, we did a couple of leases during the week, which went straight away, and we wanted to make sure that people knew if they were watching in that we will continue. If you missed out on anything like that, we will always send everything out to everyone, so you won't have anything to worry about there. But we might skip past that. We've done the English review. We might go to the participant questions. So here's one for you, Tony. To gain greater, so this is from Peter Stanley. He says, to gain greater access to the quality breeding stock in Victoria and to the Vobis racing scheme, would Newgate consider also setting up a Victorian farm in the future?
Look, never say never, but at this point in time, the main goal with Newgate and with, you know, Henry's main goal has been to concentrate on the New South Wales farm, concentrate on being the best we can possibly be here in New South Wales. And, you know, at this point, we haven't mooted the idea of having a farm in Victoria. But look, Victoria is actually, because the Vobis scheme's been in place a long time, and it's certainly a quality scheme, which I'm sure most of the trainers do use to its fullest. But at this point in time, we're just concentrating on New South Wales, trying to make that the best we possibly can for not only ourselves, but for our clients as well, because without our clients and having success, and without trainers buying our stock and stock by our stallions having success, none of us succeed. So, you know, that's where we're concentrating at the moment. So no, in the short term, definitely no thought of coming to Victoria, although I will say, you know, we will look at relocating a few of our horses at different times, but at this point in time, we certainly aren't.
And I've got a couple that got emailed through. So what's the best racehorse you've ever witnessed live?
Witnessed live. I think there's different types of racehorses that you can't compare. You know, we've got the Black Caviar, the sprinter, but She's Manicato was some sprinter. Kingston Town was some middle distance horse that could win a 1400 metre race or could win a 2-mile Brisbane Cup. When you see those horses, but in the modern day, you've definitely got to say Black Caviar, Winx and Maccabee Diva in any order, because so it's very difficult to say the absolute best horse I've ever seen race. But, you know, it's so damn difficult and so difficult to compare them at different times. But, gee, Manicato takes some beating.
Also, something that interesting that was in my notes, Tony, is Lady Melksham's actually in the chairman's sale as a broodmare in foal to Justify.
Yes, well, look, one of the things we do here and have done over the trip is, you know, clients on the farm obviously sell different mares at different times, and Newgate sell and trade mares at different times because it is a business, and you know, it's like any of the training business. You know, we've got to stay liquid and you know, profit wherever you can. And you know, we offered mares like Lady Melksham. She'll go through the sale and foal to Justify. We sold Response some years ago, who then threw a slipper winner. So, you know, Newgate has been in the habit of, you know, trading mares, trading stock, and offering those sort of stock to the marketplace. And they're not just horses that are, shall I say, that we're finished with. When you look at a horse like Response that we sold, you know, she went on to throw a slipper winner. So, you know, it's actually trading and, you know, offering mares in foal to our stallions out there, commercial mares that the next person can do well with and appreciate the progeny that those mares have that are normally by our stock. In Lady Melksham's case, it's by Justify, but SF Bloodstock were, you know, they raced Justify, and so there's an interest in him as well, and that's why that mare's in foal to him.
And sometimes it's always racing, but as an auctioneer, what's the best horse you've ever auctioned?
Gee, I couldn't even tell. I didn't. I did sell at Premier Sales and whatever. You sort of forget what ones you've sold, but you know, way back when we sold, what were the leading, you know, century horses and things like that. Gee, I'm talking 25 years ago. I used to sell horses, and the lesser ones like a Blaze the Turf and those sort of horses that we sold in our own little sale. They were nice horses, and we did well with them. But yeah, look, I can't even think what I've sold.
So many. And then finally, one from myself, probably, Tony, you touched with the relationship between Robbie and Matt, looking like it's going really well and obviously getting a lot of success. But what is it that draws people to Griffiths de Kock? If you were going to race a horse with them, why would you do that?
Well, I think it's all about accessibility. I mean, if I pick up the phone to call Robbie, and these are small things, right? But the fact that the two boys are training in partnership, people can call either one and get them. If they don't pick up the phone straight away, it's because they can't, and they will call you back very quickly. If you look at the results they've had, Robbie obviously before the partnership, but now during the partnership, I would say both men would be very, very happy with the results they're getting. And it just feels to me as though they're really bouncing off one another well. When you're training on your own, and I have had a little go at training, sometimes you don't have anyone to bounce anything off. And if you've got the two men there that are actually experienced, Matt's experience is different to Robbie's. Robbie's is all Australian based. Matt's has been, you know, obviously South Africa and a little bit of Europe. When you look at it, they can bounce ideas off one another, and neither of them have got a big ego. And I think it feels to me like there's a good teamwork happening. It feels like they bounce ideas off one another very well. They're not frightened to view their opinion to one another. And importantly, their horses are running well and performing well. So with the combination of everything, it just has a good feel place to be involved in.
Yeah.
With success.
Good answer. Can I sell you a horse, Tony? But
I said, listen, I hate to tell you this, Corey, the boys are going very well, but I'm yet to see. How are your stats? No, look, that's tongue in cheek, boys. Look, at the end of the day, all of those that are listening in and those that want to be involved, when you've got the team of, and this, I'm not, you know, this is serious and I'm not messing about here. You've got two men that are very keen. You've got also backup people with knowledge that are going to sales with them, whether it be, you know, Steph and Joey and Peter Ford. You've got all these people that have a wealth of experience that are all working together. And, you know, their ideas, they throw their ideas in the hat. They discuss all these horses that they're going to buy. And everyone's got a different idea. But working together, they're trying to build the best business and racing business that they can. And it's all about success. Make no mistake, no winners, people leave you. People forget you very quickly in this business. And that's why it is a tough business. But when you've got good people around you that are doing the job, and I'm talking decent people as well, it's just nice to be involved. And, you know, that's what it's about, getting the right horses together, the right people around you, the right owners in the door. And with owners, this is only my opinion and I might be wrong, not everything can be successful monetary-wise. So long as you get out of it what you need to get out of it, whether that be the experience, whether that be the monetary side, whether it be just a photograph on the wall. so long as you can get out of racing what really does rattle your cage, if I can put it in that manner. And, you know, it's all about the experience and being enjoyable and being appreciated being in the group. And that's what I can see here, that there's a good group of people working together, and therefore the participants in the stable, owners, everyone involved should really be enjoying it to the best they can. And I'd say that the Griffiths de Kock racing team would be, you know, building on that experience for those people. And, you know, I can only see it getting better for you.
Fantastic. And I've just got the poll there, and basically Russian answer is yes. They're all convinced. Which Newgate stallion excites you the most? Russian Revolution. So we've definitely done our job with the webinar there. And which sires that we haven't purchased yet in this yearling sales season would you like? They've said Capitalist or Toronado. I've got our top votes there, Robbie. So no pressure, but we need to go back to Newgate.
Okay, beautiful.
Well, we're happy to have you back at Newgate. And look, Toronado's doing a great job as well in Victoria for the Victorians. So, you know, everyone's got to get a little piece of the pie.
And we've been going for an hour now, just over, so we almost got through. A few technical issues at the start, but thank you very much, Tubba. You've been fantastic. Your knowledge is indescribable, really. It's a real pleasure to listen to you speak, and we could sit here for another hour, but it is late and trainers need their sleep as well. So we might sign off there, but thank you very much for joining us.
Look, my pleasure. Really enjoyed being on tonight. And look, these Russian revolutions, I'm sure, will do you proud.
Thank you. And thanks, Robbie. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Tubba.
Thanks, Tubba.
Night all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ciao.